The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside. It is Friday of the week of the NFL kickoff. And last night, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football, a game that was, well, it was pretty fun.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
The banners are up in the stadium now. It was a fun little night. Ed Sheeran opened up with the concert. And did you watch any of that?
What do you think?
I just am curious if you watched any of the pregame festivities.
I have never in my life gone, hey, I can't wait to hear Ed Sheeran.
I'm not saying I was looking forward to it. I watched it and I went, well, he doesn't sound like the record at all.
Ed Sheeran's one of those people that I look at and go, your voice doesn't match your face at all. Because your face is the kind of shit that nightmares are made of. So,
it's like the kid who got his ass kicked outside of the soccer game every week.
Yeah, his face is like the ghost of Christmas past. So,
Is that an indictment on how white he is?
no. It's like, as Rob Riggle once said to Will Ferrell, I'm going to need you to do something with your face because it is pissing me off.
Last night, 31-29, Tom Brady doing Tom Brady things at the end of the game.
Absolutely, yeah. Letting an official win a game for him. That's as Tom Brady as I've ever seen. That's the most Tom Brady shit I've ever seen.
So they missed the call. It happens in every NFL game that they miss calls.
Yes, and I don't dispute that. But it seemingly only happens to Tom Brady when there's 24 seconds left.
Wow.
And I saw Rob Johnson in the comments say, they turned the ball over. They did. I get it. Mm-hmm. I 100% get that. Mm-hmm. And you know how much that matters? None at all. Because with 24 seconds left, you're up 2. And that official has one job. And when the arm extends, it's PI. Period. And I'll be honest with you, I caught a lot of shit on Twitter for, oh, the officials were so bad. No, they weren't. You're trying to make a narrative. If I heard it from Bucs fans, you were trying to justify the bad call at the end.
Yep.
If I heard it from Cowboys fans, it was all about the last call.
Yep.
For 59 minutes and 36 seconds, they were hunky spunky. And then you went full on boo-boo kitty, and it screwed everything up. And if you want the living embodiment of why people hate Tom motherfucking Brady, that's it right there. Mm-hmm. It's not the greatness. Oh, he's so great. He's the GOAT. It's fans like you. And because literally, I knew what you were going to say the minute I walked in here. I knew it. Mm-hmm. Because it's like Patriots fans had a symposium with you when Tom went to Tampa of this is how you handle this. Mm-hmm. Be as cocky and dickhead as you possibly can and never just go, yep, missed that call. They gave us that one, and roll on. Mm-hmm. That's all we really want you to do. Just admit you got the call and go away. Take your bullshit win and roll on.
Bullshit win. They did. They absolutely missed the call. I disagree with Michael Whiteside, said it changed the outcome of the game. We don't know that. You still had 24 seconds. Tom Brady still had 24 seconds.
But see, the thing you're undervaluing is that would have put them at the 30. Yeah. There's not a whole. Be really honest with yourself. How many times did they hit the Cowboys deep? Once. The answer is one time. So I could very easily make the argument. I mean, you'll never know. Mm-hmm. So, that is what it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's move on. They missed the call, absolutely. But still, I feel like Tom Brady in 24 seconds could have gotten them in field goal range anyway. But we'll never know that. I don't think it changed the outcome of the game. To me, I looked at it as more karma than anything.
Of course you don't. More karma.
What? Yeah.
Karma for what?
For Chris Godwin shitting his pants on the last drive with 4 minutes to go where he fumbled.
How is that karma? He shits his pants and then gets away with a call. That doesn't really make a whole. That's not how karma works.
It was payback.
You're doing karma wrong. You're doing karma wrong. Kelvin Joyner said, I got great news last night. Got my first win as head freshman football coach for Alpaca High School.
Nice.
Final score 30-12. Congratulations, Kelvin Joyner.
Good job, brother.
As somebody that can't deal with the children of today, I salute you. And parents. Holy good Lord.
Yeah, dealing with parents is never a good thing.
And I don't want Kelvin to admit that, but just no.
Right.
I got you. Been there, done that,
We
got
hear
the
you.
T-shirt. There's a reason I do this now.
Uh-huh. Jonathan Welch says, can we talk about the elephant in the room? 400 yards against the Tampa Bay defense. I mean, I believe I told you that was going to happen. That secondary is not as good as they were at the end of the season. And there were a lot of things that went their way on that playoff run. And Dak Prescott is friggin' unbelievable. I heard this morning on one of the football morning shows was talking about does last night say more about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys or more about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And I think it's hands down, not even close. It said more about Dak Prescott than anything. Dak Prescott was asked to put the team on his shoulders, and he did. And he executed beautifully throughout the entire game. 42 of 58. Now, they threw the ball way too much. They completely abandoned the run. Ezekiel Elliott got what, like 11 carries in the game?
If that. I don't even know. It was 11. 11 for 33.
Yeah. He had 11 carries in the game. Tampa Bay, the best.
And the funny part of that, you ran less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this as clearly as I can.
Okay.
I noticed one thing last night that is a overwhelming theme. You better hope if you pull for either one of those teams that that's not your game plan going forward. Because if it is, Dak's going to be sitting with a brace on his leg again, and Tom's arm will fall the fuck off his body. Mm-hmm. So you better hope that's not what you're planning on doing all year, because that's not a sustainable model.
Right. Throwing the ball 45 times in a game is not what I want to see a 44-year-old quarterback doing.
I don't want to see any quarterback do that, if we're being really honest. I don't want to see Trevor Lawrence do that on Sunday.
Yeah.
Having zero ability to run the ball. And, I mean, Dallas flat gave up. They just went, nope, just fine.
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't effective because they ran the exact same run it up the guard's ass trap play every time Zeke touched the ball. Mm-hmm. Minus one time where they got him on the outside and Blake Jarwin just woofed on a block. Looked like me out there.
Right. I had a feeling that even if Zeke was going to get the carries, that he wasn't going to do well. I said that on the program yesterday, and I mean, it bared out. 3 yards a carry is all he got, and granted, he only got 11 carries in the game, but the defense had a lot to do with that, because this goes back to what Jeremy had been preaching at me for 2 years of, well, everybody can exploit you through the air. They don't need to run the football, and that's why your stats look so good as a rush defense. Bingo. But it helps. If you have that Stonewall, they're going to abandon that. They're going to have to pass.
Fred Walker, that's a new name.
Welcome,
an AA
Fred.
meeting. Hi, Fred. I want to go to an AA meeting just so I can do this. Just so people can think it's very odd. Why does that big leprechaun keep doing that?
Yeah. Hi, Fred.
This is the only AA meeting I've ever been or will ever be to.
Right. So
I will say, I mean, obviously, Tom was great.
Yep.
Antonio Brown was great. There was a lot of great. There were things that I saw with the Cowboys that would really bother me if I was a Cowboys fan. How the hell does DeMarcus Lawrence end up in coverage 2 times? Mm-hmm. He's the best pass rusher on the team. I understand being multiple. I get that. When you have linebackers like that, stop getting cute. Mm-hmm. Your cuteness cost you a touchdown because, I mean, literally you saw it on screen. Brady looked over and went, That is a defensive end on Rob Gronkowski, who is probably the greatest tight end that ever lived. Yep, think I'm going to do that.
Yep.
So it's just getting cute.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about Mike Evans after last night?
It changed absolutely nothing for me. The Cowboys have one corner on the whole team.
I did feel pretty good last night about mine. Chris Godwin over Mike Evans. Antonio Brown's actually going to be a thing, but a bigger thing than you expect he's going to be. And it bared out last night.
It's one
Antonio
game.
Brown.
One game where your quarterback threw for
I get it.
380 yards.
And he's going to continue to do that because that's how
he won't. That'll be the most yards he throws for all year. I'll bet anything you want to.
Okay.
Because this is the only game they play all year that will be shootouty like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's who they play moving forward. The Falcons, who are not going to be able to score on them. The Rams, who run more than you think. The Patriots, who run more than you think. Dolphins, Eagles, Bears. I keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only real shootout game they're going to have all year. They're going to blow the damn doors off of Atlanta next week. So, yeah, I'll take that as I don't care if it's on the moon.
Oh, it's at home. Okay.
It's in Atlanta.
No, it's versus the Falcons. It's at home.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'd scrolled down talking shit.
Yeah, no, we're in Atlanta in December. If we were in Atlanta, I'd feel a little differently because games go differently down there.
I wouldn't. Although this week, I feel real good about it.
You do remember last year's game in Atlanta that was very close. Hell, we almost blew it.
Mm-hmm. Different coach, different team.
Oh, I get it. I understand.
Evan Doyle asked in the comments, and this was a topic that we were going to get to.
Yeah.
Do the Ravens' injuries change their win-loss record for the season? I'm going to say yes. Because it's an accumulation. Mm-hmm. Now you go all the way through the running back room. They're starting Tyson Williams, who I like, but there's going to be some deficiencies here. Today we're going to do rankings for quarterbacks and running backs first week of the fantasy football season, and you're going to notice there's been a change at number one at quarterback because it's not who it was 24 hours ago. Lamar Jackson is going to do things statistically this year that are subhuman.
Right.
Because he has to. He has to. They're looking at the ghost of Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman past. By the way, if you listened to me and picked up Latavius Murray, you're welcome. Because that's the starting running back of the Baltimore Ravens moving forward.
Yes. And we'll talk about that in our Sunday morning show that will be recorded because we'll be on our.
This will be the only week you don't get to interact live with your fantasy with your fantasy teams, your fantasy questions. So if you have them, get them in. More than likely, we'll be driving while that show's airing, and guess what? I'm not the one driving.
Yeah, we'll be on the road headed to Bank of America Stadium for the Jets and the Panthers, but we'll talk more about that because one of my points this week is going to be if you got Tyson Williams, play him while you can. Because once Latavius Murray comes in and gets the feel of this offense and the scheme, I think he'll be the number one option for them in the running game. Those other guys will get touches as well, but I think Latavius will turn into the star. Interesting though that he turned down a pay cut with the New Orleans Saints and then ends up signing with the Baltimore Ravens for $2 million.
Well, he signed for the vet minimum, but
I thought that was great. There are incentives in that
deal.
Get
him to 2.8 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he still gets paid from the Saints. So, yeah, that makes all the fiduciary sense in the world.
Right. It's just interesting to me. Somebody asked in the comments earlier, do you think that what Dak said to Tom Brady of we'll see you again later this year will come to fruition? It's a great possibility. This is going to be a playoff team.
I agree.
The Dallas Cowboys will be in the playoffs. It very well could end up being like last year where, Tampa draws the winner of the NFC East in the first game of the playoffs. And we could do it again. And I will be all here for it because I was thoroughly thrilled with last night's game. If we had lost, it was going to suck, but it was still a great game. And you could, and at that point, Chris Godwin's going to be hammered. The only reason he's not being truly hammered today is because we ended up winning the game on the last second field goal.
Because he scored fantasy points.
Well, yeah, but the fantasy points help. But what I'm saying is if it had gone differently, if we had lost that game 29-28, Chris Godwin would be the pariah this morning amongst Buccaneers fans because of that fumble at the 5-yard line.
I don't know that I agree with that. The fantasy points are what change it. I don't know if you've noticed the fantasy footballification of life. Mm-hmm. If you score fantasy points, you're good at football. That's not true. It's not true, and it hadn't been true for a long time. It's something that drives people like me absolutely batshit crazy. Because quarterbacks that don't score fantasy points aren't good. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They're pretty damn good. Some of them are pretty damn good, actually. Mm-hmm. But that's why, I mean, Godwin did not have a great night last night by any stretch. But it was a couple fuck ups. I mean, there's not a nicer way to say it. He had a couple fuck ups. Other than that, he had a decent enough game.
Mm-hmm. And I am worried that that's been a trend for him, being able to hold on to the football. I think he had like 4 or 5 fumbles last year after making the catch. It's concerning, is all I'm saying. But there's no doubt that Tom Brady looked awesome last night, and it is what it is. I think they will. I think they will face off again in the playoffs.
Very well could. I will tell you this. If you have shares of the Dallas Cowboys winning the NFC East, good for you. Hold on to that ticket and make sure it doesn't get wet, because that's exactly who's going to win that division. Mm-hmm. I think Washington will still make the playoffs. That's probably the team I'm the most anxious to see Sunday, that we won't physically be in the building to see.
Right, the football team against the Chargers. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm curious to see how dominant they can be on the defensive side of the ball.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a Chase Young is the shit that your nightmares are made out of.
They all are. That whole defensive front.
Yeah, but Chase Young's just he's just a little bit different.
Of course he is.
They're all good. He's terrifying.
Yeah. I don't know who Baltimore pissed off in the heavens, but not only did they lose Gus Edwards yesterday, they also lost Marcus Peters. Back-to-back plays in practice. And that's just one of those where you go, all right, fuck it, practice is over today.
Yeah, we're going home.
Else.
All right, we're going home. Who wants to go to Shenanigans? Let's go to Bennigan's for a margarita.
And there was big news in Pittsburgh yesterday as T.J. Watt got his contract extension, 4 years, $112 million, $80 million guaranteed, bucking the trend that the Pittsburgh Steelers don't pay out big for their guys. It's kind of hard to do.
Did you hear the story?
The story of him barging into the office and
he didn't
saying,
barge in. He said, the hell with my agent.
He marched. That was what Adam Schefter said.
Yeah, he said, the hell with my agent.
Yeah.
And good for you.
I can't believe how many people are ripping him for that today. Like, I was listening to Fox Sports Radio earlier this morning, and I think it was Brady Quinn that was talking about, I don't know why we have to have all these details on this story. It's like the Watt brothers just want to make themselves appear to be better than they actually are. And like, oh, he had to slip in that whole thing of like, it's time for me to go work out. I have seen that over and over and over again, not only on national talk shows, but also on social media of, people just... And I don't know what it is. Like, you don't want the good story. Like, we embrace the bad stories, but we want to shit on the good stories. Like, to me, when I heard that about T.J. Watt, I saw the tweet from Adam Schefter. I went, yeah, that's a guy that I want on my team. Mm-hmm. That's a guy I want to give $112 million to, $80 million guaranteed. Fuck it, let's guarantee all of it. No, you wouldn't do that. I know, but what I'm saying is, how can you take the team guy and turn him into the villain here? Like he's just trying to puff up his own image.
Well, the only thing that Brady Quinn ever marched into was the unemployment office, or into a Supercuts to get his hair cut.
Right.
So,
you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Well, that's because people want to bitch about something.
Yeah.
That was a good story, and go on somewhere.
Yeah.
Get somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like Brady Quinn. Mm-hmm. A lot, actually.
Mm-hmm. And I do too. It's just, I don't know why you would take that angle to that story. Because that's a damn good story.
For the exact same reason of what's happening right now, because we're talking about it.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what our entity on the whole has become. Hey, what dumb shit can I say that will get you to talk about me?
Right.
Now, see us, we just throw up a green screen and recreate a children's cartoon.
Which was fantastic, by the way.
Oh, we have another one today.
Yeah.
I figured out the green screen. That green screen is kind of it's a little daunting It's not nearly as much of a bitch as you would think it is.
Right. I wasn't here for that. Unfortunately, yesterday we went kind of sideways in our family, and
little cattywampus.
Yeah, we had something to attend to. Everything's fine. There's no worries about it. It was just a whole bunch of shit that I had to deal with yesterday afternoon, and so that was why we weren't on the ESPN Asheville show. But we will be on this afternoon.
Oh yeah, because I got money to make you.
Yeah.
That you can take directly to bettus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy to get a $125 free play bonus.
Yeah.
If you deposit $100, it will give you $225. That will give you $225 to play with and make money with the big fat leprechauns betting spectacular.
That's right. Evan Doyle in the comments says he got to meet Brady Quinn and he's a nice guy, just a gym rat instead of a baller. Again, why would you take that angle on the story if you're the gym rat?
I met Matt Leinart. He's a nice guy. Didn't have much of an arm.
Right.
He had a girl with him that I was like, people that say money doesn't buy happiness, they've never had money.
Well, it doesn't hurt to be very attractive as well. Yeah. I mean, there's more to the story than just he's got a shitload of money.
Well, here's the thing.
He looks good on her arm as much as, maybe not as much, but you know what I mean.
Well, here's the thing. I look like the brawny man and I'm broke as a headless hooker and my wife's still hot. So, what up?
This is all very, very true. Anyway, are we ready to get into the week one rankings?
Yes. We might as well start with quarterbacks because running back's going to be a deep dive.
Okay.
All right, and we need to explain the buildup of this. First of all, if you guys could share this video, that'd be great because social media has throttled me because I've shared 1.5 billion things in the last 24 hours.
Right.
So Facebook gave me the big double bird. So anybody that could share this video, that'd be much appreciated because I'm not currently allowed to.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So we're going to record this episode in 2 parts. So you'll see the second half of this tomorrow. We won't be live. We'll be wearing the same clothes. It will be very obvious that we're not here. That'll be receivers and tight ends, and we will record a show for Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. Game by game, picks, all that good stuff. We'll be picking games this afternoon against Police Chief David Zack. My wife said, should I be offended by that? No, you value humor, honey, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Mm-hmm. Look, in every deal, there has to be a loser. Unfortunately, you wound up on the lesser side of that.
Well, there's a reacher and there's a settler,
and you can guess which one you are in that scenario, Amy.
Funny goes a long way.
That's right. Love conquers all, even though he looks like that. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Just imagine when you think your life sucks, you could wake up next to them.
Right. Yes. So yeah, you are going to have a lot of content coming out from us over the next 3 days. We will be in the same clothes. It's not, you got to do what you got to do. But from after this Sunday on, we will be live every Sunday morning, giving you the fantasy tips. You can ask us about your start sits, all that kind of stuff. It's going to go back to just the way it was last year. But let's get into the Week 1 fantasy rankings. Quarterbacks first?
Yeah.
All right, quarterbacks first. And the number 1 quarterback on the list is Lamar Jackson. The injuries to the running back core for the Baltimore Ravens means, guess what? The guy who always gets called the running back for the Baltimore Ravens, he's going to take over.
Well, here's the thing. It's not just the running backs. They don't have receivers either. You're down to Sammy Watkins and Mark Andrews. That's all you have. And Sammy Watkins has been away from the team with an undisclosed injury. Yeah. I had Pat Mahomes at 1 for the longest time. Now, Lamar Jackson, he's just going to have to do everything. He's a guy that and I'll be honest with you, I didn't have him in the DraftKings video that we did. Mm-hmm. I should have. That'll be, again, he's in the showdown. Mm-hmm. That's the reason I didn't have him on it, but still, I should have at least mentioned it.
Right.
Because they were killed before the Gus injury. Now, with it, holy shit. If he's not your captain in the showdown, you did it wrong.
Oh,
for Monday night,
no doubt about it.
If he's not your captain, you did it wrong.
No doubt about it. Receivers are going to be interesting in the showdown as well. Henry
Can
Ruggs.
I play Darren Waller as a wide receiver? Is that a thing?
Is this a scenario where you would flex a tight end? You got to play both of them,
Could
right?
be.
You
Yeah.
got to play Waller and Mark Andrews.
Yeah, it could be. Patrick Holt asked, where was Brady in this list? If this had been put out yesterday, let me look at the list again. Brady would probably have been 7. Brady would have been 7, and Dak would have been 5.
Oh, did you just leave them off the list?
Well, the game's already happened, so
Well,
why
just,
would they be on
I
rankings?
don't know. I mean, just retrospect. This is where you have it.
You think we're going full Marty McFly here, and we're going to Back to the Future?
No.
Oh, fuck! I should have played Tom Brady. Away! No.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, no.
That's not-
The only
that's not really
players
how
on
that
the
works.
the only players on the list are players that are still left to play.
right. No, I had earlier in the week we had planned to do this, and I did my list. I had Tom at 4.
See, and I thought Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette would be more involved.
Yeah, I had Lamar Jackson 1, Kyler Murray 2, Patrick Mahomes 3, and Tom Brady 4 on my list. Just because I knew that's how that game was going to go last night. There was going to be a whole lot of passing, not a lot of running. It was going to be a shootout between the two teams. We got everything we wanted. But Lamar Jackson, to me, against Las Vegas, you know how I feel about Las Vegas and their growing, young, developing defense.
Hold on, I have
What?
to say this because I've gotten two kudos for a movie reference. Apparently, Away is for the Lone Ranger. Who knew?
Yeah.
I knew I'd heard it. I just didn't know where
Is
it
that the
was from.
shitty one with Armie Hammer and and Johnny Depp when he played the Tonto with the dead crow on top of his head?
No clue.
It's a bad movie. God, that was a bad movie. Anyhow, well, good for you. Movie reference.
+3 for me. Hi-ho, silver away. That's right. There
Yep.
it is. There it
Yep.
is. There it is.
I remember that more from the TV show. My dad used to make me watch that show. But the movie was god awful. Anyhow, to me, Lamar Jackson was always the number one. The running back injuries, that only adds to Lamar Jackson being at the top of the list.
Yep.
Pat Mahomes is your 2.
Pat Mahomes is, I'll be really honest with you. If you have any of the top 6, you were playing them anyway. So it's not really like that's spicy information.
Right.
That would be more for, DraftKings, which gets into salary and things like that. If I was playing a high-end quarterback on DraftKings this week, it would be Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I almost called him Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray.
Holy shit.
You're already.
We've done a lot of things in the last few days.
You're ready for your 2022 fighting Denver Nuggets.
No, we've retired that.
Aww.
That has gone back to the ground from which it was given.
Josh Allen's your 3. I get it. He's great. It's going to be a fun game against Pittsburgh.
There's going to be more points scored in that game than you think.
Yeah, I'm off.
There
on the
are going
shootout
to
game.
be more points scored in that game than you think.
Yeah. I had Russell Wilson. He was my 5 for the week, just because I think the matchup against Pittsburgh secondary is pretty tough, and I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of points scored in that game. Kyler Murray, to me, is no doubt a home run hitter against the Tennessee defense. I had Russell Wilson at 6.
That's too low. They're not going to be able to run the ball. Yeah, Chris Carson is going to be egregiously low to some of you on my running back list. But
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's not going to struggle with this Indy defense.
No,
I
don't
can see
think so.
that game getting a little shooty-outy.
Really?
Not anything that I'm running to get pieces of or stack or anything
stack,
like that,
yeah.
but I could see it getting a little shootouty.
Okay.
Mainly because Seattle couldn't stop a nosebleed, and Russell Wilson's going to score on damn near anybody he plays.
Yeah. The Indianapolis Colts don't bring up a big challenge.
Oh,
for
there's
him.
a piece of the Colts I want, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. All right, you had Russell Wilson at 6. How you tell me I'm low on him?
I didn't say you were low.
Oh, I thought you said, yeah, you did. I said he's at 6, and you were like, oh, it's too low.
If I did, I didn't mean to.
Now, I am too low on Aaron Rodgers, though. Aaron Rodgers was my 8.
Yeah, that's not right.
Well, I had Dak Prescott and Tom Brady ahead of him.
Yep, they've already played. Oh, Patrick Holt asked, am I doing the parlay announcement today? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That will be in the ESPN show as well.
And that's a 10-way?
10-way. 10 chicks at the same time. Let's go.
What kind of odds do you get on a 10-way?
A lot. A mess. Depends on what they are. There are a couple dogs in there. I went full John Gruden on that. Couple dogs in there, man.
Yep. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood if you hear me, man.
Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay, they're going to be able to put up points against New Orleans. I have no doubts about that. I'm not that worried about Devontae Adams going up against Marshawn Lattimore. Who's the second?
Oh, and by the way, just so you know, the rain chances in Jacksonville, those have dwindled, which means we're back on that game.
Fire away, boys. Who's the second, though? Who's the second target in that game for Aaron Rodgers?
Robert Tonyan.
Okay.
Or Aaron Jones. And who's third? See who wasn't second. I don't care. It's never been a problem. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to level it with no Bradley Roby, who is now the 2 in New Orleans. I like whoever the 2 is. Mm-hmm. If I was stacking a receiver in DFS with Aaron Rodgers, it would be, I want to say Alan Lazard, but I'm not sure that's right.
Randall Cobb.
Randall runs out of the slot. That's not so much what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about the second outside receiver. Lazard runs
Which
out.
will be Lazard.
Man, he runs in the slot. Well, that was out. Yeah, Lazard. Fuck it. Lazard.
I was going to say him or
sounded it out.
Him or MVS.
Yeah, and I just can't do that.
No. I will never be putting doubloons on MVS because he can't catch. So Aaron Rodgers is your 5, Russell Wilson 6, Matt Ryan at 7. Atlanta Falcons going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts at 8. We're in lockstep on that one.
I don't like it. Robbie Wright said on Facebook, Tannehill should be 6. I really don't disagree with you, if I was being honest. My only fear is, what if it's Derrick Henry? Mm-hmm. I don't have that with Matt Ryan, and I don't have that with Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. If you tell me Atlanta scores 30 points, Matt Ryan had 3 touchdowns minimum.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts, same way. Also, if you tell me Philadelphia scores 30 points, I'm going to throw water in your face and tell you to wake the fuck up.
Not even against that Atlanta defense?
I don't care if they played the Bishop Sycamore defense. Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Enough said.
I think he'll be able to pick up some points rushing the ball. That's one of the big reasons why I had him on my list ahead of Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill was my 12.
Anthony Hurton said Carson Wentz might surprise some people week 1. I don't disagree with you, but the receiving course killed. Mm-hmm. He has Michael Pittman and Zach Pascal. That's the only guys I know definitively are playing in this game.
Yeah.
Paris Campbell's been hurt. Surprise, surprise. And T.Y. Hilton's already on IR.
Yeah.
So I could totally see that being accurate. For my ranks, I had to take in the possibility that it doesn't go overly well.
Mm-hmm. I had Justin Herbert ahead of Ryan Tannehill on my list. It's just because I believe so much in the Chargers.
Washington football team defense.
Yep.
4 words that's where he should be.
I mean, he's going to be harassed. He's going to be under pressure. The question is, can they stop his receivers? And that I don't know.
I would say yes. I would say yes. 100% yes. Or they can.
Yeah.
Reading comments, and I'm answering you with comments. I overslept this morning, so then 2 cars decided to impede the roadway, which made me get out of my car and tell them to go the fuck on. Sorry. I'm still pissed about it 2 hours later.
Yeah, put you in a little bit of a mood. That's what you really want on a Friday morning when you got a whole bunch of work to do. Jameis Winston at 10. I can't wrap my head around Jameis Winston going up against Green Bay. Everybody believes this Marquez Callaway thing is going to work, and I don't know that that's true. Especially if Jair Alexander sticks to Marquez Callaway. I don't like a second-year guy leading that charge against an all-pro corner. It just doesn't work with me. Traequan Smith is the 2.
I think Traequan Smith might be the one I want this week.
That's what I was starting to think, was that if they're really afraid of Marquez Callaway and Jair Alexander does shadow him, yeah. I don't want any of Marquez Callaway.
I don't. I don't think Jair Alexander's going to. I don't think he'll shadow him. But he might, and I have to take that into account. Mm-hmm. I will have shares of both Saints receivers on DraftKings. And I'll have a little bit of Adam Troutman and a whole motherfucking lot of Alvin Kamara.
Right. One thing remains true, though. Jameis Winston does have the big arm.
Yep.
And Sean Payton is going to try to stretch the field.
Yep.
They'll try to pick on him like the Buccaneers did against Kevin King.
And the back half of the Packers' defense is not good. We've seen it. Mm-hmm. People are going to overreact and say, "Oh, but they don't have any receivers." Are they in the NFL? Okay, then they're going to be able to do something. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be multiple with Juwan Johnson. You always have to have Kamara front of conscious, so you're not going to see a lot of drop threes or. It's going to be a lot of stacked boxes.
Right.
You give me Jameis Winston against the stacked box, especially when Bruce Arians is far, far away, I'm okay with that.
Now, Ben Roethlisberger is also pretty high on this list. And, again, I'm not sure how shootouty this game is going to be, but he did look good in the preseason. I think if you drafted Ben Roethlisberger, you're probably not starting him. You probably drafted him as your backup. Mm-hmm. And so you've got one of these other guys on the list.
And depending on who your starter is, I think you should start him over Joe Burrow. I would start him over Joe Burrow this week.
Yes, I would too.
Because I want to see it.
Mm-hmm. I wound up in 3 leagues. 3 different leagues I wound up with the same quarterback tandem. Justin Herbert is my starter. Ben Roethlisberger is my backup. I'm playing Justin Herbert over Ben Roethlisberger this week.
I wound up with the same combination of quarterbacks in almost every freaking league I'm in.
Jameis Winston and Justin Fields.
And if I have 3?
If you have 3, you wound up with Tannehill? Trey Lance. Should have known.
I like rookies that can run. I like rookies that can run.
Okay. All right. And that's not a bad way to go. And obviously, if you're in that position, you got to start Jameis this week.
Oh,
so he's the only one starting.
That's fine. It's fine. No big deal.
Right. All right. Flash that list back up there. Who else we got on the top quarterbacks for week 1?
And we'll just touch on the rest of these.
Yeah.
We're into the bottom.
Matthew Stafford. Let's talk about him for just a second.
They run more than you think.
Uh-huh.
I don't like it. They still have Khalil Mack. Robert Quinn's not a guy loving this system, but what is the biggest knock we have on the Rams? Their offensive line is a little suspect. Mm-hmm. I don't like how this sets up for him. I think you're going to see more Sony Michel. You're going to see more Darrell Henderson. I just don't love it. He has no ability to run whatsoever. To be honest with you, I should have had him behind Trevor Lawrence. If I had it to do over again, I'd have him behind Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Because Houston's defense is bad. Mm-hmm. And Trevor Lawrence can actually run.
This is
Matt
true.
Stafford in a foot race might lose to me.
You're not wrong. I like Matthew Stafford. Chicago's secondary is suspect to me, especially after losing Kyle Fuller.
Still has Jalen Johnson,
absolutely. Which is, it's going to concern me for part of the passing attack. But they got a pretty damn good other one. Whoever he ends up on, whether it be Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods, I got the other one to lean on. Nah.
I mean, whoever Artie Burns ends up on, play that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, play that guy. That's who you want.
Ryan Fitzpatrick at 15, Kirk Cousins at 16, Sam Darnold at 17.
If I had...
Part of me... Go ahead. I was going to say, part of me wants to say Sam Darnold should be ahead of the 3 guys in front of him.
Certainly not the 3. I could understand the argument for the 2.
Not ahead of Trevor Lawrence, but ahead of Ryan Fitzpatrick and Kirk Cousins.
I could see the path. Kirk Cousins would be in the top 12 if you told me that game was going to stay within a touchdown. I don't think it will.
Yeah.
I think Dalvin Cook's going to eat. So that's why. Darnold, if I had to take a flyer on a guy that you could probably get on waivers, Sam Darnold's quarterback I'm starting this week.
Yep. Rest of the list, I can't really argue with. Joe Burrow, I have my concerns about him. Derek Carr against the Baltimore secondary, although without Marcus Peters, that could be, that's definitely going to be an easier task now with Marcus Peters sideline. And then Mac Jones. I don't think they're going to put a lot on him. Bill Belichick is cerebral, and he is not going to put a whole big load on Mac Jones.
What is Mac Jones' stat line? What would you say it is?
Oh, I could see him going for 15 to 20. No, more than that. More than that. 17 of 26. How about that?
17 to 26. Okay.
For
cares more about yardage.
213 yards and a touchdown. Maybe 2 touchdowns. And a lot of tight end work.
Okay, what you just said.
Yeah.
Week 1 of last year, he would have been quarterback 14.
There you go.
1 spot ahead of Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
So just so you know, people that how do you have Mac Jones at 20? Because I agree with every word he just said, and that is as safe as it gets. Because I don't think Bill's going to put him in a situation to make mistakes.
Yep. I fully agree with that. That's your top 20. Mac Jones is in the top 20. Notable omissions. Jimmy G.
I'm heavier on Mostert. I think they get out to a lead.
Okay.
Mostert's higher than people will probably think. Trey Sherman's in my top 40, which if you watch the show for any period of time, that's a step for me.
It is a step for you. I think I agree with you on Mostert, but also, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Jimmy Garoppolo can pick apart that Detroit secondary.
All right, what's the high side for Jimmy Garoppolo?
I'd probably say something similar to what I just said about Mac Jones.
There you go.
I
don't hate Jimmy. I'll be honest with you, I'm playing in a super flex league where I have Trey Lance and Justin Fields on the bench. Hey, guess what? I'm starting Jimmy Garoppolo this week.
Right. And
I'm doing it with a big fat smile on my face. It is what it is. He's a QB2 for me. Rob Johnson asked, where's Tua? Jonathan Welch plus 2 for your answer.
There.
He's at home with Baker Mayfield.
Good for you.
Yeah. I'm shocked nobody said, where's Baker Mayfield? Exactly where you think he would be. He's in the trash receptacle with the rest of the silly quarterbacks.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. That is one that you didn't include in there.
Nope. I didn't forget him.
Think that
wasn't no accident. It weren't no accident, Mr. Spencer.
Okay. All right.
He would have been 22, if you're curious.
All right. I can deal with that.
Chuck G said Kay Adams has Cleveland in the Super Bowl. We all have flaws. And Kay ain't got many, but that's one of them.
But that's one of hers. All right, let's get into the running backs for week 1 in the NFL.
This is where it gets a little fun because some of you are going to tell me I'm out of my mind, and that's fine.
All right, let's see where he went awry. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, James Robinson at 4.
At 4.
At 4.
At 4.
Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Houston Texans, you can't really argue that he's going to face a big matchup this week. Again, rookie quarterback. I do believe that Urban Meyer is going to try to take his shots in the passing game with Trevor Lawrence because, well, Houston sucks that bad. But the fact that Houston sucks that bad also opens up a lot of running lanes for James Robinson, who was the number 7 running back in fantasy football last year. And I see much of that path still for him this year with Travis Etienne on the shelf.
James Robinson's my favorite play in all of DraftKings lore this week.
Yep.
He is one of those running backs I just pinned in the minute I started setting lineups. Because I really want McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook. So to do that, you're going to have to get just a little bit cute. And I did. In certain places. So speaking of DraftKings, you can play DraftKings against me for a cause at DraftKings.com.
That's right.
Go to our website, thesportsocracy.com, for more information on how you can get in to our $5 and $20 DraftKings competitions for a cause.
Benefit, or the proceeds benefiting Eblin Charities St. Nicholas Project. Also, last call for the competitions for a cause.
If you want to enter for a competition for a cause, we're going to have to draft it today. We've been trying to fill up all these leagues. Tank will be sending out things today to get those filled and drafted the next couple days.
Yep.
We've had a couple spots open in every one of these leagues for several days now. They just haven't filled, so we're going to draft them today.
Yeah. All right, so competitions for a cause. If you have not gotten in yet, this is your last chance to do so. Again, that's sportsocracy.com. All of the links are there for the 3 different levels, the starter, the Pro Bowl, and the Hall of Fame levels. Thank you to everybody who has already gotten in on it, is already raised a big chunk of money for the Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project, and we will continue that with the winner take half DraftKings contest every week of this NFL season.
When we went through this, we were basically told that, and you did the talking, that basically for every $100 we raise, that's one child that has a much happier Christmas because of how they do all the things.
Exactly.
So as of right now, we have almost hit our goal for the season, and that we did that in 2 weeks. So we're going to do a lot of good for that, and we thank you for that. Michael Whiteside said drafting those win. There will be a chat thread with Tank to determine all those things. I will be drafting in them with you. I have 576 things to do today. So divide and conquer. Yeah. Plus, I don't actually know how to set up a best ball league. I know how to set up a best ball mock draft. I do not know how to set up a best ball league.
Okay. So we will get all of that figured out today, and we will either try to draft 1 or 2 tonight, and then all day tomorrow is going to be go time for that. Because I got no football this weekend with the kid.
You got out of it.
Yeah, so we got out of the youth league football this weekend, so I can actually sit down tomorrow and get all of this done, as well as enjoy all of the college stuff. Yeah, we are going to have all of your college previews and such this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And
we'll have another green screen video today.
Yeah, he's going to have all of his picks. The Green on Greens. Oh, yeah, the green screen video that's coming up. You're really, really going to dig it. If you liked his Blues Clues parody yesterday, you're really going to love this next one because, well, I'm just going to say that the guy he's parodying in this video, he was a big part of my childhood.
He was zero part of my childhood, but I just saw a story about him that pissed me off. So a little homage.
All right. Anyway, let's get into the running backs list. Again, if you want to get in on the competitions for a cause or the DraftKings contest, go to thesportsocracy.com. Number 1 on the list, Christian McCaffrey. Then you got Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, James Robinson at 4, Antonio Gibson at 5.
My favorite stack in DraftKings this week is James Robinson and Antonio Gibson.
Okay.
To shy away from Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook, who are going to be super high owned.
Oh, yeah, because Antonio Gibson was, what, 5,900?
James Robinson, 6,400. Antonio Gibson's 59.
Cheapies.
That's one of my favorite stacks.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, going 4, 5, 6 there with those two and Jonathan Taylor, yep, that will take a normal man from 6 to midnight.
We have pretty much in lockstep the top 5 on our rankings. The only guy I had in the top 5 that you do not have in the top 5, and he's just outside of it, it's Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry runs over everyone. And he's taken on an Arizona Cardinals team that I get. They're going to be able to take advantage of him in the secondary, but it's still Derrick Henry.
So you think I have Derrick Henry too low?
By 2 spots. It's not a big deal.
Here's the thing. I think there's a possibility that new offensive coordinator that game gets shootout-y.
Yeah.
And if it gets shootout-y, I could see a path where Arizona stacks the box, goes, you know what, we didn't invest heavily in the secondary, but we have guys that we like. And here we go.
They do? They have guys that they like?
Absolutely. Buda Baker's one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL. So
right.
Yeah, they got some guys they like.
No, I'm talking mainly about their corners.
They're not as bad.
Like Tay Gowan and I think like 3 of the guys that they're starting have either no or very minimal experience in the secondary.
Robert Alford has
Marco
a lot.
Wilson.
Byron Murphy has a
Oh, yeah,
amount.
he's the one. Byron Murphy's the one steady guy. And then
Robert Alford started in the Super Bowl, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're great.
Yeah.
I'm saying they're fine.
And then Marco
I liked
Wilson,
it better when they had Malcolm Butler, obviously, but.
Yeah, Marco Wilson, the shoe thrower, Tay Gowan as well is part of that group. I just think A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are going to be able to take advantage of that. So if they do stack the box against Derrick Henry, I can see where that could be a problem. Although Derrick Henry is the guy that every team tried to stack the box against, and it didn't really matter most weeks.
I think Arizona's going to be more formidable against the run than people think.
Okay.
They have invested in that front 7. They're very fast.
Yes, they are.
With Isaiah Simmons and Zaven Collins, I just think that there's going to be some lapses in the secondary, and Tannehill's going to take advantage of that.
Okay. You got Jonathan Taylor at 6. Colts going against the Seahawks.
No Jaron Reed in Seattle anymore. Wah, wah, wee, wah. Or K.J. Wright, actually.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris round out your top 10.
Austin Eckler makes me a little nervous with the injury, but everything I've been told is that it was more precautionary than it was anything.
Yeah, he's missed 2 straight practices, and that has caused the fever swamp to begin of, oh, God, Austin Eckler's hurt again. I get it. I'm invested heavily in him this year as well, but I'm not too terribly worried about
On DraftKings, 8 through 11 are all guys that you can get at low ownership, high-value guys, if you want to fade away from Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
If you have them in season long, you're starting all these guys anyway.
Nick Chubb at 11, Joe Mixon, Damien Harris, Mike Davis, Josh Jacobs. Those are the next 5.
I feel like the entire industry is too low on Damien Harris.
I agree. I was getting ready to say, I think the guy out of that 5 that I just read off that I want and I will start over every one of them is Damien Harris.
Even over Nick Chubb.
Even over Nick Chubb.
I don't agree with you there, but it's close. I like Damien Harris a lot. He's the only running back in that backfield I want. He's very, very cheap on all the daily sites. If you play on Yahoo, of which I don't know why you do that, but if you do, he is stupidly cheap on Yahoo.
Right.
The other 2 sites were kind of forward-thinking, but Yahoo went,
Now, obviously, season long, if I have Damien Harris and Nick Chubb, I'm playing them both. I'm getting
absolutely.
them both into my lineups. But just by a smidge, just by the fact that I think Bill Belichick is going to pound the ball, Damien Harris is going to be the guy. He's the guy with the most upside to me.
The guy I feel like people are going to give me some shit about Josh Jacobs going up against Baltimore. That I have him too high.
Yeah.
Take the journey with me.
Okay.
Now you have Anthony Everett instead of Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters he wasn't a shut down the field guy, but he did allow you to stack the box. You can't do that now.
Right.
You still have Jimmy Smith. I get all that. It's not like the secondary went from, fantastic to dog shit. It went from fantastic to you're schematically going to have to do some different things, which I bumped up Josh Jacobs. Jacobs, I believe, was at 18. He was right in front of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I bumped him up to 15 after the Marcus Peters news. That's one of those injuries that has absolutely nothing to do with the guy, but has a lot to do with him if you really go down the rabbit hole.
Right. It has a lot to do with the scheme.
Yes.
And their ability to defend the run. Excellent. Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chase Edmonds, Chris Carson.
I like to call this the... I think it's funny we didn't work on that beforehand, but it's...
That's exactly what this is. I mean, it's just like the weekly rankings are just like the drafts. This was the section of the draft that you got to, and you went, I don't know. That's why I went, heavy hitters on the first 18 or 16 running backs. and then hammered the wide receivers. Because as people are trying to, play catch up on running backs, this is where you could hammer those receivers like Justin Jefferson.
Oh, hold on. Greg Charinkin. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
The AA meeting of sports. When we see new names, we have to tell them hi and tell them that they're welcome in our safe space. He asked PPR, Myles Gaskin, Michael Pittman, Darrell Henderson. I'm going to let you answer this first because I don't think we're going to agree.
Okay, I am in that scenario. I'm going with Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman
Son of a bitch, we did agree.
Michael Pittman is he's the only threat in the passing game for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, I get Carson Wentz likes to target his tight ends, but Mo Alley Cox, I don't really believe is going to have a lot of targets, and Jack Doyle, and to me it's Michael Pittman out of those. I don't want Myles Gaskin any part of that at any time, anywhere, especially going up against New England, where you have an assistant coach going up against Bill Belichick,
which never goes well.
Right, we have this rule in college football with Nick Saban against his assistants that comes directly off of the Bill Belichick tree. Bill Belichick does not lose to his assistants either. Nope. He also doesn't lose to first or second year quarterbacks, and the running game for Miami is dog doo.
Yeah, I don't like Myles Gaskin. I'd actually have Myles Gaskin at 3 there.
Yeah, I would too.
And we'll get into Darrell Henderson in a minute. I don't dislike him. I want to see it. Mm-hmm. Michael Pittman, I know what his workload's going to look like. Name the number 1 corner for the Seattle Seahawks.
I don't know.
They don't either. It's Trey Flowers.
Trey Flowers. Scares you, doesn't it?
Terrifying.
Yeah. Mortified. Petrified. Terrified. Yeah, it's Michael Pittman.
I would say Michael Pittman, yes.
Yeah.
And it's just that easy. If you have fantasy football questions, feel free to throw them out in the chat. And Saturday and Sunday, we will be recorded. We will not be here, but I will be in the chat answering your questions. So if you want to ask questions, I will answer them in the chat during those videos.
Who was it that's asking us to be nice? Rob Johnson's asking us to be nice about David Montgomery because he has him on 2 of his teams.
Hurts.
Yeah. I don't have much
David Montgomery is the
to say.
guy that you want to hammer against shit defenses.
And this ain't one of them.
And this is the best defense in the league.
Right.
So I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
Rob Johnson asked PPR, DJ Moore, Corey Davis, DJ Moore by a lot.
Agreed.
By a lot. I want as much Carolina Panther as I can have. And that's not we're an affiliate. I like winning.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to accuse you because the guy he asked you against was your guy, Corey Davis.
Good point. And I like Corey Davis.
Right.
I have DJ Moore by a lot.
Yeah. This would be a coin flip for me more than anything because I have to look at how do I think the script is going to go. I think Sam's going to target Robbie a lot. So do I think that who do I think is going to get the most targets from the quarterback? And I think it's going to be Robbie on the Carolina side, and I think it's going to be Corey Davis on the Jets side. So yeah,
you can call and you can call me a homer for this. Just remember I said this.
Yeah.
That Jets defense is low key going to be better against the run than you think it will.
Okay.
4 best players on the defense play in the inside section of the defense. Gwinnett Williams, Fotakasi, C.J. Mosley, and Marcus May.
Yeah.
They'll be better against the run than you think they will.
Yeah, but the Carolina Panthers have the best damn running back in the league. So
I don't disagree. And I have him at 1, but it's more for his ability to catch the ball than it is for him to run it.
Well, see, and that's another thing. I was just thinking wide receivers before because now I think DJ Moore might actually be the 3rd target on that team. And Corey's going to be number 1 for the Jets.
Yeah. I'm still with DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Patrick Holt asked PPR flex, Ayuk or Shenault. This week I would go Ayuk if he's healthy. If not, it'll be pretty easy because then it's Shenault. Mm-hmm. But year long, that one's going to be a headache. I hate playing wide receivers in my flex spot.
Yeah.
Hate it. They're so bootsy. It's a running back spot.
It's not that I don't like Brandon Ayuk. I would lean Laviska Shenault on this one.
I wouldn't because
so you should do what he says.
I like James Robinson way too much, and I don't think that Jaguars offense is going to be all that great.
Right.
I think it'll be fine. They're going to win, I think, convincingly. Mm-hmm. But nothing to really write home about. It's one of those you can see at the end of the day and go, wow, Jacksonville won this game with 315 yards of total offense. And Houston had 240. Hot. We have sat football back 15 years.
That's one of the preseason narratives, though, that I do believe in, is that Trevor Lawrence likes Laviska Shenault.
I believe
it's his favorite target. They're going to take shots. I would probably lean Shenault on that one just because of the injury risk of Brandon Ayuk. But yeah, do what he says. Don't do what I say. It's your ticket to losing money.
Steady Dropping said it's a passing league. I'm going wide receiver at flex, wide receiver mostly at flex. I don't disagree with you. It's a passing league. Running backs are safer. I like that flex spot to be safe because I tend to be a little. I play a little fast and loose with the rest of my lineup, as evidenced by Jameis Winston as my starting quarterback in 80% of the leagues I'm in.
Rob Johnson asks, are you taking Green Bay and the points against the Saints? I guess. I was going to say, I guess you're just going to have to tune in to the ESPN Asheville show for the picks this.
Oh, yeah, we will be picking that against Asheville Police Chief. I should probably text him and say, hey.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good.
See you today.
That'd be good. Let's line that up. Back to the running backs list. Week 1, the top 40 running backs. Where do we stand?
Hold on, I got to answer this question because this is a new name.
Oh, okay.
Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I dropped Latavius Murray for Jones Jr. I have Kamara, lost Gus Edwards, added Bell and Freeman. Should I just drop both of them for Darrell Williams? No. Darrell Williams has, I'm not going to say he has no fantasy appeal to me, but it's very, very little. I wouldn't drop I'm going to level. I don't think that Le'Veon Bell or Devontae Freeman are going to have copious amounts of fantasy relevancy. If I had to pick one, I'd say it's Le'Veon Bell. What I will say is until we definitively know that, there is somebody that will pay for those two. They've been added in every league that I'm in.
Yes.
Sharpest of sharp leagues. And people still add Le'Veon Bell in spite of the fact he's looked like he's 907 years old. Chuck G said, I wish the ESPN show was on YouTube as well.
It will be.
Give it time. And by time, I mean
3 weeks.
From today.
Yep. 3 weeks from today, that is the timeline that we are hopefully going to be moved into the new studio, and we will be able to stream the radio show on YouTube as well.
And the green screen's going with us. I don't know if our production company knows that, but they do now.
We're gonna have to find a way to make it work.
Yeah, because we're gonna wheel that big sumbitch. Will it fit in the door?
Nope. We're gonna have to take that puppy apart.
Well, much like Lieutenant Dan, I guess we're gonna have to chop his damn legs off.
Yep. We'll give her some magic legs. It'll be all right.
Magic legs. All right, we have gone down rabbit holes here.
Yes, we have. Let's get back to the top 40 running backs for week 1 in the NFL. We've worked our way through the top 20 here. Tyson Williams at number 21. This is the week to play him. He's going to have value this week. Don't know if he's going to have a whole lot of value going the rest of the season because Latavius Murray coming in, we've already said, I think he's going to be the starter for the Baltimore Ravens. But there is always going to be cleanup work in the running game behind Lamar Jackson, whoever it ends up being. Whether it's Tyson Williams, whether it's Le'Veon Bell, whether it ends up being Devontae Freeman. I don't think it's going to be. Because Latavius Murray's in town now. But for this week, Tyson Williams, not a bad play in your flex spot. I wouldn't rely on him to be one of your 1 or 2.
Who?
But in your flex spot, Tyson Williams.
You're wrong. Tyson Williams is a starting running back this week.
Really?
There's almost no path that you're not going to get him in your lineup. I have him at 21 for a reason. Baltimore runs more than any team in the league. Name me any other running back that is comfortably going to be on that team. It's maybe Trenton Cannon, maybe.
Yeah.
Because Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman are not going to be up to speed with that playbook enough to be, even if they're on the active roster, they're not going to be big parts of it.
No.
Tyson Williams is guaranteed 15 to 18 touches. I think it could be more than that.
Okay.
So, to me, starter, no doubt, lock it in.
All right. Raheem Mostert like him a lot this week. Melvin Gordon, not bad. Kareem Hunt, revenge game narrative.
21-25 is one of those sweet spots for me where I'm like, I could get down with all 5 of those.
I'm not sure about Sony Michel. I'm in that area with Sony Michel and Darrell Henderson. That if you have them, hopefully you got better options to start this week because I want to see the workload. I want to see what it's going to look like.
I'm in like, not love with both of them, and I feel like I'm going to be in love with one of them by week 3.
Okay.
If you got one, I hope you have the other.
Saquon Barkley at 27. That's going to take some people aback. But I think about him in the same sense as Zeke last night.
I told you he was not going to be high on my list.
Yeah, he was not. He was not great before the injury last year, and by not great, I mean got 1.8 yards per carry.
That was in one game, but still.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but it's still a concern because he's had those games before.
And that Broncos defense is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. They are very stout up front, and that offensive line is god-awful for the New York Giants. So I don't disagree with you. I get if you spend a first-round, early second-round pick on him.
It's hard to bench your first-round pick. Hard. I get it. If it's Tyson Williams or Traequan Barkley, it's Tyson Williams, not even close to me.
Agreed. Jamal Williams?
Yes, Jamal Williams is the running back you want from the...
Against the 49ers?
Okay. Look who's behind him.
Oh, yeah. Zach Moss, Myles Gaskin, Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, it gets ugly.
Yeah, it does.
It's ugly in a hurry.
It does.
Jamal Williams is the running back you want for the Detroit Lions.
Javonte Williams, I think, is a little low on your list.
I don't think he's going to have a huge workload.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a 65-35 split for about the first 6 weeks of the season.
Okay. I would be willing to take more of a flyer on Javonte Williams than I would any of these guys. Zach Moss against Pittsburgh, I'm out. Myles Gaskin against New England.
Zach Moss falls in the end zone.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake in that work share, whatever it's going to look like with Josh Jacobs against Baltimore. Yeah, I think I like Javonte Williams better than anybody ahead of him.
I don't
not
personally.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah, I don't personally. I like Nyheim Hines a lot this week, too.
Okay.
Linebacking
they have said they're going to get him more involved in the passing game.
And the linebacking core for the Seahawks is getting slower. It's getting older. And I could see Nyheim Hines having I could see him having a quality week.
Trey Sherman at 37, James White, James Conner, Malcolm Brown's your 40. I'm not laughing because it's Malcolm Brown.
Malcolm Brown's going to have more of a role than you think.
I'm just laughing because how bad that Miami running back room is.
It's bad. But it's going to be one of the most even splits in the NFL.
Yeah. Trey Sherman, I think there's some upside to him this week, especially what happens if San Francisco gets out to a huge lead. And
That's
then
why he's
second
up here.
half, Trey Sherman, it's a Trey Sherman show.
That's why he's up here.
Okay.
If this game gets out of reach, you're going to see a lot of Trey Sherman.
Yeah.
Because they'll try to get him acclimated, get him real live reps, not put any more wear and tear on Raheem Mostert, who lives hurt. That's why Trey Sherman's up here. I don't think Trey Sherman's one of the 40 best running backs in the NFL. But he might end up that way in that San Francisco offense when they're ahead like this.
All right, so that's your top 40 running backs for week 1. We will have an episode coming out tomorrow that will have your top 40 wide receivers. Would you go top 20 on tight ends?
Top 20 on tight ends, top 40 on wide receivers.
Okay. Are we doing defenses as well?
I mean, we're doing a DraftKings video for
That's
that.
right.
So
That's right.
that one will be just me.
Yeah, so tomorrow we will have a full episode of the rest of the rankings for week 1 with your wide receivers and your tight ends. We will have DraftKings videos coming out with your wide receiver DFS plays, tight ends, defenses as well. What else do we have? Oh, we have another gambling segment coming out today where we're going to use the green screen and have some fun with Jeremy's hair. We have the ESPN Asheville show this afternoon where Jeremy will have all of his picks for the weekend, including his big 10-way parlay for the weekend. And yes, you can. I'm sure you can use the advice that he gives on the 10-way parlay on bettus.com. BetUs is now in line with the Sportsocracy, and you can use our promo code Sportsocracy when you set up an account with them. They will give you a bonus match of 125%, which is a big deal because the ceiling on this one is $2,500. If you've got it to put in, that's a shitload of free dollars that you can get from BetUs.
U.S. doll hairs.
Yep. So betus.com is the website. Use the promo code Sportsocracy when you create an account, and they will give you the signing bonus match of 125% of your deposit.
And much like if you were to ever have a real 10-way, you're not even going to know where to put things sometimes. just stuff going all over the place.
Do I have enough fingers? I don't know. I knew that'd get him. So, yes, sign up with BetUs today, betus.com, and use the promo code Sportsocracy. Last call for the competitions for a cause, the best ball leagues that will benefit Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. We would like to have as much participation in that as possible. Thank you to those who are already in those. If you've already gotten in one league and you can get in another one, absolutely do that. Share it out with your friends. Let them know. It's the last chance that they can get in on this. We will have prizes for all of the individual winners of the leagues. And all of those, thanks to our sponsors, Ingles Supermarkets, Wicked Weed Brewing, Clarissa Marshall of eXp Realty. Go to sportsocracy.com, sign up for the best ball leagues as soon as you can, because we are going to have to shut those down and get those teams drafted over the next day, at which I will be working on later on this afternoon. But competition for a cause benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Also, the DraftKings winner take half contest. We got 2 games going against Jeremy, a $5 game, a $20 game as well. You get half of the winnings. The other half of the winnings goes to the St. Nicholas Project as well.
Patrick Holt asked who won comments. I haven't done the exact math, but it looks like it's Patrick Holt, Kelvin Joyner, and Adam Black this week.
Excellent.
And now that we're 4 weeks into that, I will put up sometime next week. I'll put up a leaderboard of all of you.
Right.
All of you that get on the board are going to have some entry.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of new names popping in, which thank you for checking us out. We hope you enjoy the time that we spend here together every day in the Sportsocracy. We do. We wouldn't be here without you guys. We love new names popping up. Explain the commenter of the week contest so the new people can get up to speed on how we do the points.
So I grade it live as we're live on air. If it's a recorded stream, I go back and when the live chat repopulates. And we score comments. Best comment of the week wins. The top 3 get entries into a drawing we're going to do at the end of the year where you can win sweet helmets like the ones we have on screen.
Yeah.
Of your favorite team.
Customized, signed helmets.
Just a little.
It's
just
not
a little thank you.
Right. And you're going to be happy with it. We're probably not going to be able to get you a Tom Brady signed helmet, but we can get you.
Take the word might out. Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes.
You never know.
I'd literally have to auction a kidney.
You never know. But it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. I am so happy that football season is here. It is all back. It is all happening. We got a lot of content coming out for you over the next 3 days, and of course, we will be back here live in the Wicked Weed studio on Monday morning to give you the full recap of everything that happened. Don't forget to check us out on the sportsocracy.com. Like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for helping us make our dreams come true. We will shortly be having some huge announcements coming from the Sportsocracy.
Huge.
That's right. And so stay tuned with us, and we'll see you tomorrow when we have the rest of the rankings videos. Have a great afternoon.